welcome to Lite Time. We're going to be looking at pain in our program. Pain from many different angles. Pain of relationship and the pain that we just put upon ourselves. So in an effort to really challenge myself to face the pain of my life, I'm going to the thing that has pained me for a long time, my desk. It is a major relationship in my life. I don't know about you, but I think desks say a lot about us. And if I ever died and they went to clean out my desk, I'm afraid they'd know too much about me, and that's the frightening part. So if I bomb on this program, at least I'll have my drawers cleaned out and they'll never know what I was really like. Credit cards. You know, these are very important things. How many times have we felt the pain of a credit card? I've used this puppy a lot when I shouldn't have. I always thought I had money. It's not that credit cards are bad. It's just that it's the way I've used them. This one.
Excuse me.
Wait. Yeah. That's what happens when you don't use them right. Oh, well. Oh, and then there's money. I love money. You love money. Everybody wants money. Yet money has caused me a great deal of pain. They say it's the root of all evil. I don't think it's the root of all evil. I just think that I need more of it, and then there would be no evil. It's the guy I owe the money to on the credit card. There are other things in my desk. Oh, I remember this. This is neat, isn't it? Reminds me of a date I had. I'll keep that. I want to keep that. That's important. Airplane. You know, I was saving up for a long time in my life to fly an airplane. I thought I'd buy one. Took lessons even, thought about it even. Saved up a little bit. And somehow when you grow up, just doesn't seem to matter anymore. Kind of a broken dream, I think. My budding career as a TV actor, you can see that one's not working out either. Yo-yo. When I was a kid, I used to play with yo-yos. They're fun too, but they can cause pain. You know, I was thinking of another scenario just the other day I want to share with you about how we resist things and make them more painful than what they are. See if this relates to something you can understand.
Okay, 18th hole. All I gotta do is sink this putt down. A little concentration. Here we go. Oh.
Hey, come back with my ball!
Okay, yes indeed, another job well done. I think I'll come over here and work on the broccoli. Yeah, that's it. Hey, watch it now. I worked all morning on those. Hey, why don't you try some grapefruit or something? Hey, watch out. Oh, geez, I can't believe people. Oh, well, here we go. That's much better. Yes. Okay, back to work.
Come on. Gotta catch that dog. There he goes the other way. Jeez.
Oh, no! God. Oh!
Hey, watch it, buddy.
All this for a ball.
Hey, catch him. There he goes.
Get it, go!
Oh, no, here's another potential disaster. Hello, Grandma.
Next one, just what a geek.
Here, get the chain. Get back over here.
Oh, jeez, watch it. Oh, God, little boys. Oh, I just can't understand why people can't control their children. Whew. Can't believe that way people just don't What? Oh, no! Watch it! Watch out, my beautiful oranges! Watch out for my beautiful oranges! Oh,
Get that dog!
scared.
Oh, Mom was right. I should have been a brain surgeon.
What a great shot.
You silly dog. Over there. You ran me over town.
That was only an 8. Not bad for him.
Hey, give me a doctor.
Talk about a dog leg.
All of us are familiar with the many different ways in which we deal with our differences in relationship. For example, some are original.
You boys gonna fight over your little Meg?
Some are emphatic.
You kiss my aspirations.
Some are even comical.
You like it?
Yes, I like
You want to have it framed?
Though we may not feel like laughing at the time.
She works
in this office. She's a paralegal.
But most of us will agree, very few of our methods really work.
But I didn't marry Barbara. I married Marjorie.
Then you got a divorce.
Right. Then I married Katie.
Another divorce.
Then a couple of years later at Eddie Colicchio's funeral, I ran into her.
Some have very painful results. And many of our techniques bring undesired results. Where do we learn to work out our disagreements? Our parents?
50 years later, and we are still married.
The movies?
Is this a trick question?
That is just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you.
And who's best equipped to teach us?
I just thought maybe we could work on some fundamentals.
Easy, miss.
Maybe we just assume that getting along with each other should come naturally.
Because the door is locked.
We shouldn't have to learn how to fight fair.
You play fair with me, I'll play fair with you.
Well, maybe we do need some guidance.
Proposes marriage to a woman, you should kneel down.
She's got him on his knees. He's ruining his suit.
After all,
Not true.
it's not
I have
always
a
easy
number
to
of
admit
men
when
friends,
we're
and
wrong.
There's no sex involved.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You only think you do.
And we don't always have the best control over our emotions. If there are some areas in your relationship that could use some fine-tuning, then hang in there. We may have just the solution for you.
And kind of improve your hand-eye coordination.
What's the absolute worst movie you can think of? Staying Alive.
9.5 weeks.
I'll have to say War of the Roses.
Ouch. Because it's so erotic. I said ouch.
Jaws.
Gone with the Wind. Driving Miss Daisy.
Well, I'm not really much of a moviegoer.
Probably be Best Friends.
Yeah, I think so. Either that or Close Encounters of the Third Kind, maybe.
Welcome to this segment. We're going to be working with a wonderful book written by David and Deborah Hodgen. It's called Checkmates. It's a book about winning love strategies, relationship. And you know, there is nothing more painful or more pleasurable than that of relationships. We work a lot of our stuff out in it. This book, well, I read the cover of it and the flyleaf and a few of the chapter titles, and I was deeply impressed. David, Deborah, so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Listen, I was really impressed with the first part of the book, talking about this thing with your supporting each other and in your conversations, etc. Can you help us a little bit with this? Because this is really not a book you just sit down and read. It's a book you really work with.
That's
huh?
right.
That's right.
It's worked in our relationship so perfectly. And, well, we'll show you how it works.
Your relationship looks great. Let's look at this.
Yeah.
What we try to do is really let the person say exactly what they need to say because, well, they want to be heard. So go ahead, honey. Show them how it works.
Oh, for instance, honey, when I like to stay up late at night and possibly do some extra work on our new book or, just watch an old movie, you always ask me to come to bed and I don't want to come to bed.
I support you in saying that.
See how that works, Greg?
Yeah.
Simple. You hear it and it's easy. I'd probably be more enticed to come to bed if you wouldn't wear that gray flannel nightgown, honey.
I support you in saying that.
Thank you, dear. I'd also probably more enticed to come to bed if you'd bi-monthly shave your legs and your arms.
I support you in saying that. And you know what? I think it's my turn. You'd like to see how I do it?
Yes, I would like to see how you feel.
Okay. Well, maybe I'd feel more like seeing you and being with you and so forth. And if I wasn't so darn tired from doing everything, I'd be able to come to bed.
I support you in saying that.
I mean, if I'm the one that's doing everything, I take the book to the printer, I take care of the kids, I clean the house, I book these stupid talk shows, and you never, ever are there to support me.
Yeah. Well, I can support you in saying that.
Yeah, this is working real well.
Yeah.
There was another segment.
See how we get it out?
Yes,
yeah, it works great. Doesn't it, Greg?
Yeah, it's great here. Moving right along. Reflective listening was another one, I think, in here. Do you want to show us that technique too, please?
What we do in that is we let the person know they're really being heard by paraphrasing or saying back what we've said.
Ah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Could you demonstrate this one for us?
Sure.
Would you mind?
I'll start, sweetheart.
Okay, dear.
Yeah.
Well, I've been wondering lately why it is that even though the book is finished and most of your other work is done, you haven't been coming home at night.
So what you're saying, Love Chunks, is that you'd like me around more at night.
Yes, and I just kind of wonder where you've been.
So I guess what you're saying, now that the book's finished, you're kind of wondering, you'd like me around more often that the book's finished.
No, honey, what I'm saying is, where have you been and who have you been with?
So what you're saying is, you're implying that I possibly be seeing someone else.
Yes. What's
that
her
right?
name?
Darling, what are you talking about, sweet lumps?
Oh, yeah, after 7 years, the fire is gone.
Come on. You know that's not true. I'm supporting you in saying that, though.
Listen, sweetheart, if we're talking about support, you better check on the bank account, because if you're seeing somebody else, it's going to be the last time you put your
Somebody
butt
else,
between
come
the
on.
sheets.
You got the Beamer, you got the movie rights, you got the results. Listen, I booked the stupid shows like this, and we have to make it here. Trixie!
Your private secretary. So I haven't seen Trixie around the office lately.
Oh, yeah, now you're bringing up Trixie.
Yeah, Trixie. Cute little Trixie.
You know,
Trixie, our favorite.
She was my favorite. You knew that. She worked great.
This is a great book, and I know that David and Deborah are really working this out. Check out the the book. The book is Checkmates, and you'll find it in your local bookstore. Who booked these people? Who booked these people?
And everything else.
Take care of your person.
Yeah, support me in that, babe.
Sure.
We've looked at pain in many different ways. We've looked at it as a lighter side of pain, the pain of the physical, trying to become more attractive. We've heard what other people have to say about pain. We've even played with the idea of pain in relationship. But now let's look at the psychology of pain and how possibly we can work through it with Dr. Deborah Chandler. She's a psychologist helping individuals find insight and understanding through the pain of their own relationship. Deborah, let's talk a little bit about the pain of finding ourselves in a breakup. When the first thing that a person is concerned about is finding another person, when you said off camera, and I thought it was a very powerful comment, that people should be more concerned about finding themselves.
Well, I think, as you said, the first thing we look for when a relationship ends is a way to end the pain. And we might go to another person, we might go to alcohol, we might go to gambling, we might go to sex. We look for something to fill us up. And food, yes. And we look for something to fill ourselves up instead of realizing this is an opportunity to know ourselves better. That in the loss, that in the poignancy of the loss, in the poignancy of the pain is the kernel of the essence of our being. And if we have the courage and if we have the support, a trusting, safe environment in which to look at that pain, we can come to know ourselves in a new way. We can see how we come out and survive that pain. When we think we've lost ourselves, we've actually found ourselves.
We're afraid of pain, aren't we, though?
I think so.
Do you feel that we look at pain as though it is some sort of disgrace or failure?
I think it touches into our shame experience.
Does it? In what way? Talk to me about that.
Well, I think when we're children and we were displeasing to our parents, they often say to us, "Don't be so bad. You're really making me mad. You know, you're really a disgusting child." And we tend to associate unacceptable behavior with being a bad person. And so in each of us, I think there's a certain amount of shame and a certain sense of not being acceptable, of not being good enough. And I think that's the most frightening experience a person can have, is that experience that I'm not good enough, that sense of emptiness.
Yeah.
And that I think we have a kind of spontaneous reaction to move away from that, to try and soothe ourselves in any way we can. And as adults, we have to decide whether we want to stop taking the quick, which seem like the quick soothing ways, which really make our lives more complicated, and find a way to settle down and kind of do a kind of spiritual transformation of ourselves, where we start looking at what's really happening inside of ourselves and find a deeper way to soothe ourselves and nurture ourselves.
Lightening up on pain. We tend to take it very seriously. How can we lighten up on pain a little bit instead of making it such a heavy experience?
Well, I think the only way we can lighten up on it is when we gain a perspective on it and gain a perspective on our lives. And if we feel that our whole self-esteem is in danger when we are insulted or when we're hurt, we can't be very light. But if we feel more secure and if we feel, oh, it's my old reaction coming up, this is part of what life is teaching me, to accept myself as I am, despite the fact that in the past I thought how I looked wasn't good enough. Now I'm learning to see I'm fine, I've got an inner beauty, I have an inner light. I show that to people, they see it, and they love me, and I feel the love inside myself. And so it's when we can accept ourselves as we really are that the light comes.
I
The
hear
easiness comes.
Yeah, you're right about that. And it's like we draw everything to us that is appropriate at that time. The pain, again, I want to go back to it because it's important. We bail on pain, we bail on everything that hurts us. What is it that we could do that can help us stay with it so we can get through it and don't have to repeat it again and again and again?
Well, I think this is where our discrimination as adults comes in. First, we have to recognize that we're doing this, that we have this pattern which isn't benefiting us. That the same problems keep coming up, or new problems, but the same old dissatisfaction. And we need to get ourselves into an environment, either a spiritual environment or a psychological environment. We need to have friends around us. We need to create a safe environment in which to begin to know about that pain, because underneath that pain is a profound sense of feeling hurt. And we need to feel we can get in touch with that sense of not being loved and appreciated, and that pain, and feel that we can expose that part of ourselves, and we can only do that in a safe, trusting environment. So we have to be very discriminating in getting ourselves into professional or social environments that will support us in this transformation. And you don't tend to find that in some of your old habits, so sometimes you have to find new habits, new ways of living, which will allow you to pursue this part of your life.
And not be afraid of going forward inside of yourself no matter what you see.
Right. It does take courage.
Facing the dark and the light. Right. Thank you, Deborah. I really appreciate it. That's Facing the Light and the Dark and the Dark and the Light. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
We argue, but we're able to argue now and do it without holding a grudge against one another. And we discuss it and we talk it out, and we either come to agreement or we just agree to disagree.
Say it, get it over with, and go on from there.
I'll come to the gym.
It just wears off after a while.
And I'd probably go have a beer or two.
I throw things, I break things, I yell a lot.
Sometimes I complain a lot about things. And he'll say, quit acting like your mom.
I work out hard so that I can beat him up.
I've been known to slam a door or two.
Stress out. Hard, I stress out.
Drink heavily. I think a prenuptial agreement in this day and age is a good idea.
You're probably going to have a lot of money. Any guy I date is going to have to be up there with Donald Trump.
Being able to suffer.
Trust.
Able to suffer pain.
Well, you probably have to show your papers.
I guess if both people are willing to suffer, then they can work through things.
Because if you can't trust somebody, you can't tell them your inner thoughts and your secrets, you're lost, you're out on an oasis by yourself.
A lot of love and patience and togetherness.
You know, pain is a very important part of life, and I hope that this program wasn't too painful for you, but even if it was, it made a point that there is a message in everything that is painful. We've looked at pain from many different angles, the pain of my desk, these inanimate objects that we give so much power to and we say this is a painful thing. All it is a desk. Ooh. Anyway, there's pain in everything. We looked at the pain of a situation, remember with the golfer and the dog? It didn't have to be painful for the golfer, but he had to make it that way because we're always seeking control. And maybe that's one of the most painful aspects of life, is that we seek too much control over our life. We looked at the pain of relationships between men and women, or women and men. I'm never quite sure what it is, and that's always been painful for me. But nevertheless, it doesn't really matter. The thing that matters is that relationships are important. They produce pain, and they also produce great pleasure, the pleasure of being able to see who and what we really are. The trouble with so many of us is, I think, and who cares what I think, but here's what I think anyway, we take things too seriously. We have been taught that everything has got to be so doggone intense. Life doesn't have to be intense. We could learn our lessons with a little bit of pain. We don't need a lot. So I've kind of come to that point, I think, in my own life where I don't need the pain like I used to. I have painful experiences like anyone else, but it's not like it used to be where I used to have to go through real physical pain and drain myself and almost kill myself. I guess that's why we did this program, because I'm such an expert at it, and I hope in some way that you've kind of gotten that in your life and that we've been able to help you with that. I feel real good about doing this program, and I know that even if it was painful for you, you enjoyed it like we enjoyed giving it to you. And I think I'm done right now. Thanks for being with us. Oh! Oh! Wait! Oh, God!
Hey, is the camera okay? Check it out.
Oh!
Yeah, it looks all right to me.
All right, that's a wrap.
a wrap?
Ow!
I gotta get this microphone.
Hey, somebody help me down here!
Hang on.
Hey, wait!
I
Oh,
need to get
thank
this
God,
microphone.
Jimmy, you're here.
I gotta get
Jimmy,
this microphone.
Jimmy,
Better bring the lunch in.
Jimmy, what about my hand?
Hey, you know what?
My hand,
I gotta get this back to ward.
Jimmy, God, my hand!
Hang on.
Oh!
Hang on.
Oh!
Hey, what did I get for lunch?
God, my hand, Jimmy!
We need
Wait.
another shot. I got the jacket.
Wait, can somebody get?
What about
I need some help! Ah! Ah! Oh!
It's on the hook.
Oh!
What's that flag?
Could somebody kind of call 911?
What was he talking about?
Not.
I have no idea what he was talking about there at the end. Unbelievable.
Hey,
We got
Get these cables out of here.
We just gotta go back to props.
Cables out of here.
911. How about 411? I'd go with 411. Any of you.
Excuse me.
Just
Those are
411.
my gloves.
Wait. Jeez.
How much more do we have to do in this place?
I
Guys.
think we're just about done.
Guys. Can I? Guys. Oh.
Let's kill this light over
Guys.
Kill that light.
Guys.
Oh, we still got. I don't know what we got.
Guys.
That's pretty close.
We
Guys.
gotta take this stuff out of the ceiling, and there's another slinger over here.
How much time do we have before we have to get out of here, Mark?
About 5 seconds.
About 5 seconds.
Wrap this flag.
That about does it.
Okay, we're done.
Yeah.
Get it.
We're out of here.
Oh, jeez.